Bafana will play their third qualifier for the Africa Cup of Nations. But who is Hugo Bruce going to pick for his starting 11 and why? Well, let's talk about it. Starting with a very welcome return of Ronwen Williams. In the past 2 games of the Africa Cup of Nations, Bafana conceded 4 goals. Yes, I know some people will just blame Velimoto, but I think it goes beyond Velimoto because even without him, Sipho China still conceded 2 goals. Now, this does not mean, oh, both of those keepers suck. No, it just means Ronwen Williams is also better suited to be in that position because he's not just a shot stopper, but he's also a captain, he's also a leader, he's also a person who can organize that defense much better than those other 2. So I'm glad that Ronwen Williams is back. Right back is Ukhuliso Mutau, Sailor Man. It goes without saying, a very talented player who I think should be playing overseas, but then again, I don't know what's happening there. Number 3, left back position, Aubrey Modiba, who Mamelodi Sundowns are very much playing him as a central midfielder. Hugo Bruce still does play him in midfield, but he doesn't start as a midfielder. He starts on the left back and he inverts into midfield or sometimes overlaps. So you know that he's going to give you a lot, but he's not going to be playing in midfield for Bafana. Next up, we have Rashwin Dotli. Started impressing in the COSAFA Cup, and Bruce was like, this guy can play. This boy can really play. So he was like, hey, let me call him up onto the national team. And he performed in both of the games that he has played. But the big question is, since Ngezana is injured and he's been partnering with him in the previous 2 games, who's going to play? I think it's going to be simple. The return of Grant Kekana. Because if I'm being honest with you, right, I will tell you now, I think Ngezana is a very good defender who is very committed and does the job. But I never saw anything wrong with Grant Kekana. But at the end of the day, I will not question Hugo Bruce because I know he's a very good coach. So whatever there is, so I was like, okay. But the return of Grant Kekana will be very much welcome as well. Now, we go to midfield. And the first person who will be playing in that position is Tebogo Mokoena, who's also not playing in Mamelodi Sundowns. You know, I find these things interesting. And Bruce did mention that these players not getting game time at Mamelodi Sundowns might end up becoming problematic. And that's going to be problematic for us as the nation because think about it. If Umtao is not playing, if Umkwena is not playing, those are 2 very important positions in South African football. And put aside the fact that you support Pirates, Chiefs, or Sundowns. Let's just think about it. Those guys are very important to the team and we need them to be getting minutes. But yes, we cannot be telling Sundowns who they can or cannot select. We are just saying it's not a good thing for South African football if the 2 key players for the national team are not playing. So I hope that whatever problem they have over that Sundowns can be fixed because we need Utebza to be playing game in, game out. And now, can you please just do me a favor? Help us reach 10,000 subscribers by subscribing if you're new and also liking a video if you are a returning viewer. Who is going to partner Umkwena because his long-time partner, which is Umfana Gazana Lowagasthole, is injured? Well, I think it's going to be Uluk Leroux. Uluk Leroux did play for Bafana and he partnered and has played alongside Umkwena before, but then he ended up just phasing out. And I was looking at his performances over there in the Eredivisie. I'm like, he's averaging 6 point something, but in the previous 3 games, I saw about 7, about 6 point something, because obviously I don't watch the Eredivisie, but I look at the numbers he's making, I look at the ground that he's covering and the positions that he's playing in. I'm like, okay, it makes sense. He's a good replacement for Umchitalo Wagwastole. And also, if it has to be Luke Leroux, because I look at the other options that we have in that position. There is Ubatuse Aupas, who could be the other person who could sit there. But the problem is he's not been playing at Sundowns either. So then that leaves Leroux, who is actually very good and is also going to help playing out from the back. But he will also be comfortable enough to sit back and let Tebogo Mokoena push forward, because we know that Bruce sometimes will let Umodiba invert into midfield and play a 6-6 still, or he will still have one person as a 6. In that case, it could be Luke Leroux sitting deep, and then Umkwena no Zwane could be 10s in front of Leroux, who will be able to cover all that ground. Which brings us to the wing, or to the number 10 position. And I don't even need to explain why Umshishi should start and will be playing for Bafana. And then next up is a controversial one. Elias Mokwana as a right winger. And I will say why I say this is controversial, because I know the comments will be like, fighting me. Elias Mokwana will be starting this game ahead of Umrena, because Umrena, yes, he can come in and his pace, his experience can be utilized. But the thing is, this team will be sitting in Congo. I'm foreseeing Congo not trying to be too ambitious going forward. Why is that? Because on Tuesday, we're playing them in Congo. So if they get a point in South Africa and get all the 3 points in Congo, then that means they've gotten 4 points out of us if they do win. So if you have a player like Kumukwana who will be able to dribble and try to do things, and I know he has not performed well, and I know the question you have in your head, I'll answer it right now. So Bruce would be hoping that he does and he performs well and he can dribble past people, because remember last year, Elias Mkwana at South Africa, he actually had the most successful dribbles out of everyone. So if you have a team that is sitting deep, then you want someone who can dribble past them and try to open spaces. Which brings us to the other position, the left winger, which is Oswin Apolis. I mean, now Apolis, the last time he played for Bafana, he was really on fire. And unfortunately, I wonder what his head state or where he is emotionally, because we saw his team refusing to sell him. And I cannot imagine how that must have felt for him to just, the team is like, you're not going anywhere, bruv. And then he ended up not going anywhere. But he's still a good player. Now, the question you are asking yourself is, Mpilo, why have you not mentioned anything about President Yama 2000 Urelebuhile Mfukeng? I will tell you why I've not mentioned Urelebuhile Mfukeng. And the reason why I've not mentioned Urelebuhile Mfukeng is because you see Mkwan, Urelebuhile Mfukeng can substitute him. You see Utembazwan, Mfukeng can come in and substitute him. You see our police, Urelebuhile Mfukeng can come in and substitute him. Is he not better than Umkwana? Probably is. Is he not better than Apolis? He's probably better than him. The thing is, though, if you start all your good players, who's going to come in and make a difference, right? We've seen Utalent Mbata in the previous 2 games coming in, scoring the goals. We saw Relebo Mfukeng in those 2 games coming in, changing the game. So I don't think that all the best players of Bafana should just be started. We even see this at Pirates. In the final against Mamelodi Sundowns, his own coach benched him and he came on, ended up scoring the winning goal. Came on against Stellenbosch, ended up scoring the 3rd goal in that match, and took that quick free kick controversy again. But the thing is, it does not mean Urele should start just because he is better than those other 2 guys. It means that he could always come in and make a difference. And it's beautiful when it happens like that, because he's sitting, he's watching, he's reading. That boy is very smart, and he comes in, he knows what they're doing, and he knows how they're playing. And it also helps with just taking the pressure off of him. We must remember, yes, people will bring up Lamine Yamal, but South Africans are not like Spanish people. Let's not lie to each other, because we put too much pressure on these kids, and sometimes you just have to ease them in and let them get comfortable enough, and then they can make a difference. I just had to mention that. Which brings us to our number 9, which is Ulaila Foster. Another player who some people are still holding a grudge because of the AFCON thing. But he out of all the strikers that we have, he's the most intelligent out of all of them. Reyners is very good, but I will make a point again, the same point with Urele. Reyners can also come in for Umfanagazana lo wakwanta singana. Foster second half, because we know what he can do. He's good in holding up the play. He's able to get himself in the right positions, and is able to bring in his teammates into playing as well. But who do you think will start? Who do you think Hugo Bruce will start? Do let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, keep on watching football. It's live.